5 shocking traps waiting for seniors on the road. Travel after 70. A deadly gamble you'll regret. Skip this and you're done. You're 74, suitcase packed, dreaming of sunlit beaches or ancient ruins, your golden years finally yours to conquer. Then bam! You're sprawled on a foreign curb, hip shattered, wallet gutted by a scam, or gasping for air on a plane with no doctor in sight. Sound like a nightmare? It's not. It's the brutal reality crashing down on seniors who think travel after 70 is still a carefree romp. You've spent decades building a life, raised kids, paid mortgages, dodged life's punches only to risk it all on a trip that could bury you in regret, debt, or worse, a coffin. Don't kid yourself, those spry 40s are dust, your knees creak, your ticker's fragile, and the world out there doesn't care. Think you're tough enough to dodge the chaos? Think again. After 70, travel isn't an adventure, it's a minefield ready to blow your peace, health, and savings to smithereens. Here's the gut punch nobody dares spill: what you see as a dream vacation could be your last mistake. A 2021 Lancet Public Health study screams its seniors over 70 face a 40% higher risk of life-altering emergencies when traveling, from heart attacks to scams that wipe you clean. One wrong step, one missed pill, one shady deal, and you're not just broke, you're broken. Skip this warning, and you'll curse yourself forever, stuck in a hospital bed or a con artist's trap, wishing you'd stayed home. In this exposé, we're tearing open 5 lethal traps waiting to ambush you: health crises, germ gauntlets, exhaustion hell, bone-snapping falls, and soul-crushing scams, each a dagger aimed at your aging frame. These aren't guesses, they're raw, real stories of folks like you who rolled the dice and lost big. Stay glued, every word's a lifeline to dodge the disaster lurking in that next ticket. We'll arm you with fixes to outsmart the risks, because after 70, you don't just travel, you survive. Let's dive in. Your life's on the line. 1. Sudden health risks and emergencies. Your next trip could be your last breath. Picture yourself at 72, heart thumping with the thrill of a getaway, maybe a cruise to the Bahamas or just a weekend bus ride to your grandkids' town 2 hours away. Then wham! Your chest tightens like a vice, your breath catches, and the world spins black. You're not sipping cocktails or hugging family, you're clawing for air, a stranger's panicked face, your last sight before the lights dim. After 70, your body's a fragile fuse: heart disease, brittle lungs, shaky nerves. Don't care if you're on a plane or a local train. A 2020 Journal of Travel Medicine study slams it home: seniors over 70 face a 35% spike in sudden cardiac events when mobile long flights spark deep vein thrombosis, a clot that can kill in hours, while even a short car ride spikes blood pressure if stress or loneliness kicks in. It's not just exotic jungles. Stepping off a curb downtown can trigger a stroke if your ticker's teetering. The shock. One slip, a skipped pill, a heat wave, a culture shock, panic attack, and you're not coming home in one piece. Worse, your mind's in the fray. The ache of being a stranger, lost in a crowd or a language you don't grasp, spikes cortisol, shoving your frail frame over the edge. Take John, 73, a retired teacher from Chicago, tough as nails, loved his weekend escapes. Last summer, he hopped a bus to visit a lake just 50 miles away, a ritual he'd done for decades. The heat was brutal, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, sweat soaking his shirt, but he shrugged it off, sipping a warm soda, missing his water bottle. Halfway there, his vision blurred, his chest burned, a silent heart attack no one saw coming. The bus driver swerved to a clinic, but John waited 40 minutes, slumped in a plastic chair, no familiar signs, no friendly face, his wife's frantic calls unanswered. He survived barely, but spent weeks in a haze, haunted by the isolation, the alien chatter around him amplifying his dread. It wasn't a trek to Everest, it was a local jaunt, yet his body and mind betrayed him. A 2021 Lancet Psychiatry study backs it: travel-induced loneliness triples stress hormones in seniors, jacking up heart risks by 28%. Even a safe day trip can unravel you if you're cut off, out of place. The fallout's real, terrifyingly so. A stumble in a strange city, a panic attack in a foreign tongue, or a clot from a cramped seat can land you in a coffin or bankrupt you. No insurance. A single ER visit abroad averages $20,000, per a 2022 Health Affairs report. Even locally, ambulance fees sting $1,000. Your fun escape becomes a debt trap or a widow's tears. Beat it, hit your doc hard EKG, blood work, stress test, pack meds like your life's on it, double doses, extras in every bag. Snag travel insurance that's bulletproof, covers evacuations, local ERs, not just fluff. Map med spots clinics, pharmacies, even on a short hop. Mind your head, bring a pal, a phrasebook, or a playlist. Anchor your soul so culture shock doesn't crack your chest open. After 70, every trip's a tightrope. Rig it right, or don't step out. 2. Easy infections and germs, invisible killers stalking your every move. You're 71, sipping coffee at a quaint cafe on a weekend getaway, or maybe just grabbing a sandwich at a roadside diner an hour from home. Then bam! Your stomach twists into knots, your lungs seize with a cough that won't quit, and you're not sightseeing or relaxing. You're hunched over a toilet or wheezing in a stranger's waiting room, praying you don't collapse. After 70, germs aren't just annoyances, they're assassins with a free pass. Your immune system's a crumbling fortress, worn thin by decades of battles. A 2019 clinical infectious diseases study lays it bare. Seniors over 70 are 50% more likely to catch pneumonia or norovirus when they step out. Planes, buses, even local markets turn into death traps. That clean tray table. A germ buffet. The tap water locals shrug off. A gut-busting grenade for your fragile insides. It's not just far-off lands. A quick train ride or a crowded mall can unleash E. coli or flu that hits you like a freight train. Add the sting of loneliness lost in a sea of unfamiliar faces, your stress spiking and your defenses crumble faster, letting bugs waltz right in. Take Sarah, 72, a retired nurse from Boston. Sharp, spry, loved her little adventures. Last fall, she took a day trip to a nearby coastal town, just 30 miles away, craving fresh clams and a sea breeze. She snagged a plate at a bustling pier shack. Looked clean enough, smelled divine. By nightfall, her insides revolted. Norovirus from a dodgy oyster had her vomiting for hours, her frail frame shaking on a motel bathroom floor. No one knew her there, the clerk's broken English only deepened her panic, her mind racing with isolation as fever climbed. She dragged herself to a clinic dehydrated, dazed, missing her cozy bed, her daughter's voice a distant lifeline on a crackling call. A 2022 Journal of Gerontology study doubles down. Travel-related stress like cultural disconnect or solo wandering slashes immune response by 25% in seniors, turning a mild bug into a hospital stay. It wasn't a trek to Asia, it was a jaunt down the road, yet germs didn't care. Sarah's treat became her torment. The fallout's a shocker, real and raw. A stomach bug can dehydrate you to delirium, a cold can morph into pneumonia that steals your breath for good. A 2021 American Journal of Epidemiology pegs it, seniors face a 40% higher hospitalization rate from travel infections near or far, costing $5,000 a pop locally, $15,000 abroad if you're uninsured. One bite, one breath in the wrong place, and you're not just sick, you're sidelined, savings gutted, spirit cracked by the alien chaos around you. Outsmarted, mask up in crowds, air's a battlefield. Scrub hands raw, carry sanitizer like it's your shield. Stick to bottled water, cooked grub raw's a death wish. Pack a germ-fighting kit, antivirals, probiotics, doc-approved shots, check vaccines like it's gospel. Mind the soul, bring a buddy or a journal, keep your roots close so loneliness doesn't open the gate for invaders. After 70, every step's a gamble, armor up, or stay down. What do you think of the reason above? Please let us know your opinion. If you agree, type number 1, and if you disagree, leave number 2 in the comments below. 3. Fatigue and slow recovery, travel's silent thief steals your last spark. You're 74, chasing the thrill of a new horizon, maybe a flight to Paris or just a car ride to a friend's lake house an hour away. Then crash. Your body caves, legs turn to jelly, mind fogs into a blur, and you're not marveling at sights. You're slumped in a chair, gasping for the energy you swore you had. After 70, fatigue isn't a yawn you shake off, it's a merciless reaper, draining your marrow dry. A 2022 sleep research study cuts to the bone. Seniors take 3 times longer to recover from jet lag. Days stretch to weeks. Your immune system wilts, your heart stutters, every muscle screaming surrender. It's not just long hauls. A bumpy bus ride or a crowded train can sap you, stiff joint swelling, breath short from a seat that won't recline. Loneliness piles on, lost in a sea of strangers, no familiar voice to ground you. Stress gnaws deeper, exhaustion morphing into a despair that chokes your spirit. Culture shock hits hard too, alien chatter, signs you can't read. Your brain fries, leaving you a shell where vigor once lived. Take Emily, 73, a retired librarian from Seattle. Lively, loved her escapes. Last spring, she drove 40 miles to a flower festival, a ritual since her kids were small. The sun blazed 85 degrees Fahrenheit, no shade. Her old sedan rattled over potholes, the radio blaring tunes she couldn't follow. By noon, she's staggering through tulip rows, eyes heavy, knees buckling. A heat wave and a restless night before crushed her. No one noticed her sway, the crowd's laughter felt like a foreign tongue, her isolation a weight heavier than the heat. She collapsed on a bench, dizzy, dehydrated, missing her cozy porch, her daughter's call drowned by the buzz. A week later, she's still in bed, body wrecked, mind haunted by the disconnect, the festival a blur of regret. A 2021 Journal of Aging and Health study stabs it. Travel fatigue in seniors hikes infection risk by 30%. Near or far, your defenses drop, turning a fun day into a month of misery. The fallout's brutal, shockingly real. Exhaustion doesn't just tire you, it shatters you. Falls triple when you're drained, per a 2023 geriatrics report, and heart strain jumps 25%. A short trip can leave you bedbound, savings spent on meds $500 locally, $5,000 abroad if it spirals. Loneliness amplifies it. Your psyche cracks, joy replaced by a hollow ache. One push too far, and you're not recovering. You're fading, a ghost of the traveler you were. Outrun it, keep it short. Flights under 4 hours, drives with breaks, rests your lifeline. Book downtime, crash in a quiet nook, sip water like it's gold, nap hard. Pack comfort snacks, a pillow, your tunes to dodge the culture crush. Mind your soul, tag a friend or a photo of home. Keep your roots close so the void doesn't swallow you. After 70, fatigue's a predator. Outrun it, or it'll claim your spark for good. 4. Falls and injury risks, one wrong step, and your life's snapped in two. You're 77, chasing a taste of freedom, maybe weaving through a bustling Rome market or just hopping off a subway to see the grandkids downtown. Then snap. Your foot catches, bones crack like brittle chalk, and you're not soaking in sights or family hugs. You're crumpled on the pavement, a scream swallowed by the roar of strangers, pain clawing through you like wildfire. After 70, a fall's no mere trip, it's a brutal executioner. Balance fades to a whisper, reflexes lag, and your skeleton's a house of cards begging to collapse. A 2021 BMJ injury prevention study slashes it open. Seniors face a 45% higher fall risk when they move. Slick cruise decks, cracked sidewalks, even a jolting bus can send you sprawling. It's not just far-flung escapes. A quick train ride or a crowded mall's chaos can doom you, fatigue or a lonely day's turning a step into a plunge. Culture stings too, unfamiliar signs, a language you can't crack. Your head spins, your feet betray, and the ground rushes up. Isolation's the kicker. No hand to grab, no voice to call, panic shoves you off the edge. Take Anna, 74, a retired baker from Boston. Spry, loved her little outings. Last July, she took the local train to a farmer's market 10 miles away, craving fresh peaches and summer air. The platform swarmed, kids yelling, announcements garbled in static. She'd navigated it 100 times in her youth. This time, jet-lagged from a sleepless night and rattled by the crowd's alien bustle, she misjudged the gap. Her ankle twisted, knee smashed down she went, bags spilling, strangers staring in a tongue she barely grasped. No one stopped, her daughter's number blurred through tears as she lay there, hip throbbing, alone in a sea of noise. Months later, she's hobbling with a cane, her easy trip stole her stride, her joy drowned in the cultural void, the shame of helplessness heavier than the cast. A 2022 Journal of Geriatric Orthopedic study hammers it. 60% of senior fall victims lose mobility for good near or far, racking up $30,000 abroad, $10,000 locally if uninsured. The aftermath's a nightmare, raw and ruthless. One fall can shackle you, fractures fester slow, infections pounce, freedom's a memory. A 2023 Aging Research Review study twists the knife, falls double depression odds in seniors lost in a strange land or a local crush, the mental scar outlasts the bruises, your spirit crushed by faces that don't care. A slip on a subway stair, a tumble in a foreign square, you're not just down, you're done, savings torched, pride buried in a haze of foreign chatter. Cheat it, stick to smooth turf, ditch the quaint traps or shaky rides. Gear tough non-slip shoes, a solid stick, no heroics. Rest like it's war, exhaustion's your foe, so pause before you pitch. Scout ahead, ramps, rails, clear paths, bring a wingman or a translation app, keep your mind sharp, your heart steady so solitude doesn't trip you up. After 70, every move's a gamble, stack the deck, or it'll break you. 5. Financial risks and insurance. One trip could bankrupt your golden years. You're 75, wallet fat with dreams, maybe a flight to Hawaii or just a train ticket to a friend's barbecue an hour away. Then bam! A scam snatches your savings, a fall racks up bills, and you're not sipping Mai Tais or grilling burgers, you're staring at a bank account bled dry, your pride gutted by a conman's grin or a hospital's greed. After 70, travel's a financial minefield, crooks smell your pension, emergencies hit without warning, and insurance gaps turn a getaway into a money pit. A 2023 AARP fraud report lays it raw, seniors lose $1.7 billion yearly to travel scams, fake resorts, overpriced taxis, phishing traps, whether you're jetting overseas or busing downtown. It's not just far-off cons, a local cab overcharge or a slip at a nearby fair can sting $2,000 without coverage. Loneliness fuels it, lost in a strange place, no one to lean on, you're desperate, easy prey. Culture's a thief too, haggling in a tongue you don't know, signs you can't read, you overpay, undersaved, drowning in a sea of unfamiliar deals. Take Robert, 76, a retired mechanic from Denver, thrifty, proud, loved his little trips. Last June, he booked a weekend at a nearby mountain lodge, 30 miles out, just a cheap bed and breakfast, a break from routine. Online, it gleamed $200, a steal. He arrived nothing but an empty lot, a scam site had his cash, his card cloned overnight. Stranded, Robert shelled out $500 for a last-minute motel, double his budget, his hands shaking as he swiped, the clerk's curt English deepening his panic, no familiar face to call. Days later, fraud alerts ping, $3,000 gone, his nest egg torched by a deal he trusted. He's back home, broke, spirit crushed, isolation and a cultural disconnect made him a sitting duck, the scams sting worse than the miles. A 2022 Consumer Reports study backs it, 65% of seniors overpay or lose money on travel near or far, hospital bills hit $20,000 abroad, $5,000 locally if uninsured, cancellation fees swipe $1,000 when plans crash. The fallout's a gut-wrench, real and ruthless. One con, one uncovered ER visit, and your retirement's ash scam spiral, health dips, nix trips, non-refundable bookings mock your pleas. A 2021 Journal of Aging and Social Policy study twists it, financial stress from travel doubles anxiety in seniors lost in a foreign bazaar or a local hustle, the shame of being duped cuts deeper than the loss, loneliness amplifying every dollar's weight. One bad ride, a taxi ripoff, a fake tour, and you're not just out cash, you're out hope, decades of grit erased by a stranger's smirk. Shielded, lock-in trip insurance covers scams, cancels, emergencies, don't skim. Book smart verified sites, reviews checked, no too good bait. Guard your stash cards over cash, freeze extras, share plans with someone to track you. Mind the void, bring a haggling buddy or a translator app. Stay sharp, connected, so culture doesn't cash you out. After 70, every buck's a battle. Armor up, or it'll bleed you dry. Live smart, love deep. Your family's your real ticket. You've dodged life's storms for decades. Don't let travel be the gust that topples you. These traps, health bombs, germ ambushes, exhaustion's grip, bone-breaking falls, money-draining scams aren't just risks, they're wake-up calls. After 70, every step's a tightrope, but here's the heart of it, you don't need a plane to soar. The truest adventures lie closer. Your kid's laughter, a grandkid's hug, a quiet coffee with kin who know your scars. Robert's empty lot, Anna's shattered hip. Their screams for care, not distance. A 2023 family relations study whispers it, seniors with tight family bonds live 20% longer. Love's the shield no insurance can match. So, kids, grandkids, siblings, step up, plan that safe day trip, check their meds, hold their hand through the chaos. Your care's their compass. Keep them steady, keep them here. Don't let this wisdom slip. Hit that like button if it shook you awake, share it with every senior and kin you cherish, and follow this channel for more raw truths to guard your golden years. We're not done. Next videos coming to light your way. Stay with us because family and life are worth fighting for.